Okay, so I'm going to talk to you guys about how you set up your writer's notebook. And your writer's notebook will also be used for our bell ringer, which is the first 5 minutes or so of every class period. So you're going to need three things to kind of put together this concept and get ready to start the year. You're going to need to make sure that you have a spiral notebook. You need to make sure that it's at least one subject, as I just circled down here. It needs to be at least one subject. And then you're going to need the yellow notes about how to set this up. It's just a hard copy of what I'm going to go over in this video. And then you're also going to need August bingo card, which is kind of like a light blue. So make sure you have these three things, and then we can go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to talk to you about is that yellow paper. So go ahead and have that in front of you, and let's just start from the beginning. With a pen or a pencil, I'd like for you to add the notes that I tell you to write down on this paper. So you will need a pencil. Okay, so let's just start right here. What is it? Well, it's a spiral notebook. It's a lot of people just get the one subject. However, I will tell you that some people who don't want to keep replacing the one subject because you're going to run out of pages, some people would rather have a 5 subject notebook, and that's fine. It's preference. If you don't want to keep replacing it, then I would invest in a 5 subject notebook. But the one subject is fine for just right now, and when it runs out of pages, you'll have to get another one. The front cover may be decorated, but it's not mandatory. You can just leave it plain. I kind of recommend that you leave it plain because you're going to have some room for some stickers, which I will talk about in a second. So let's get on the same page. And in order to do that, we need to understand the same kind of terminology that's going to be used. The first thing I want to talk about is the bell ringer, which is also known as SWT. Sacred writing time is going to be how we will start our day. I am a writing teacher as well as a reading teacher, so I want to make sure that there's time for relaxed writing, writing where you get to kind of explore, practice new concepts that we've been studying in class. The first 5, 8, 10 minutes, just depends on the day. The first few minutes of class, let's put it that way, you will have some time to practice writing, and really it's writing for fun, but it's also a time where I encourage you to practice new writing concepts or strategies that I have taught in class. And what better place to do that in a notebook where you won't be graded. I will look at it, but it won't be graded. So it's a more relaxed setting. So this will be a bell ringer. As you can see, it points out right here. And this is how we will start our day. It will be routine for you. So every single day you're going to come in, you get out your writer's notebook, and we start. When you come into my room and you have your writer's notebook out, the next thing you're going to look at is called the daily card. And I have a picture of it right here for you. This right here will be projected on the screen in front of the classroom. And the daily writing card really, one, acts as a reminder. Honestly, it kind of triggers what you're supposed to be doing when you walk into my room and you just left Mrs. Furlong's class and you have math on your mind and you walk into my room and you're like, wait, what are we doing? Oh, yeah. You'll see the daily card and it'll quickly remind you to get out your writer's notebook. And the other reason why I really like the daily card, besides a reminder about what to do, is that if I zoom in a little bit here on this sample that I have on your sheet, it always gives you the date. And you have to date each entry in your notebook. Every single day you have to date it. And I know that half of the time all of us are like, wait, what's the date? Well, remember, it's going to always be right there on the daily card for you. So you can look up and find the date. The other thing I like about the daily card is it triggers ideas. You're going to have to write about something. And we're always going to probably walk in sometimes and be like, I don't know what to write about. Well, there's going to be an interesting trivia fact of the day. It always tells you, I don't know if you've ever seen this or heard of it, but there's these days that are designated, like there's Sweetheart Day and Grandparents Day and Secretary Day and Boss's Day and National Ice Cream Day, and everybody eat peanuts today. I mean, it's just weird. But anyway, so here's one. Today is National Chess Day. So will you be a pawn, a knight, or a king today? I kind of like that, using a metaphor, pretending that that these pieces in a chess game, if you know anything about chess, which piece would represent kind of who you are, and you would explain it. So the daily card kind of gives us, I think these bright ideas of things that you can write about, and especially when you're not too sure what you want to write about. And if you read the daily card, there might be something on it like which piece in a chess game are you kind of a thing, where it triggers something and you're like, oh, that's cool. I'm going to write about that. There's going to be a quote of the day, and you're more than welcome to write about what you think the quote means if you really liked it. There's also going to be vocabulary word of the day. And depending on what the word is, they usually ask you a question about the word. And that could be something, if you respond to that question, that's what you would write about in your notebook that day. So again, the daily card has 3 jobs, in my opinion. 1, it reminds you what to do. 2, it always shows you the date. And 3, it might trigger an idea for you to write about. Okay. If you look down below, we're going to talk about our last term that we need to know, which is the bingo card. The bingo card is kind of my favorite because this is where students can earn extra credit. Please make no mistake, this is the only way you can get extra credit. So if you don't do well on a test and you come up to me and, I need extra credit, I'm going to say, well, you know how to get it. It's on the bingo card. Perhaps it's 1 week before report cards come out and you're like, Mrs. Messner, I'm at a C+, I have to get a B-. I need extra credit. And I'm going to look at you and I'm going to say, well, the only extra credit you can get in my class is from the bingo card. So here it is. So listen carefully. If you want extra credit, it's going to be on the bingo card. And the way this works is pretty much how you're probably guessing. If you get a bingo, you're going to get some extra credit. The bingo card looks like this, and as you can see, it's your light blue August bingo card. Each month you're going to get a new one. So as you can see, this one is August. Well, in September, we'll throw August away, we'll recycle August, and then I'm going to give you a new monthly bingo card. And each month on the bingo card, there will be prompts about which you could write about, about which you can write about in your notebook during SWT time. Again, it's very similar to the daily card. The daily card is trying to give you ideas of what to write about when you first walk into the room. Well, the bingo card is also going to give you ideas as far as what to write about when you walk into the room. So all of these things are just trying to help you, make the bell ringer successful so that you can get a good grade for your bell ringer. So the bingo card, as it says here, it's going to be passed out monthly, and each month you'll get a new one. Most prompts on the bingo card will enforce a new skill that's being taught that month. If chosen, students will need to date the entry and identify it with a number of the prompt they picked. Okay, so here's some examples of just, these are some random ones off of a bingo card. And as you can see, the only thing I want to point out here is that each spot on the bingo card has a number. When you write the entry in your writer's notebook, you will have to number which one you're writing about. So here's an example of how to head your paper, and this is really important. So, if you want to open the first page of your writer's notebook, I would encourage you to do that. In fact, go ahead and just pause this video while you do that. You should open your writer's notebook to the very first page, and you should write down exactly what you see here. You should write down a number 1 that you have to date it. The second thing that you have to have is the number on the bingo card. And the third thing that you're going to have is the location. And what location means is like where is this prompt coming from? You kind of have 3 choices. You can the location of the prompt can either come from 1, the bingo card. So you're going to do this. You're going to say on the bingo card, the date, This entry is from the bingo card. It's on this date, and I picked number 2. Okay? Those 3 things. Or you're going to write down that your prompt came from the daily card, and you'll put the date. Or the very, very last choice that you have when you title an entry in your writer's notebook for SWT is it could also be my own. In other words, maybe something happened in the hallway on your way to my class, and you're thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened. If you wanted to come in and vent a little bit about something that happened in science that made you upset, or something in the hallway that really, was upsetting, or maybe you got in a fight with your friends, you're definitely allowed to come in, and it's a safe place for you to write about it and vent and then date it. So in review, during SWT, you come in and you write for 5 minutes about anything you want. It can definitely be my own entry as long as you put the date. However, I'm always going to have that students that look at me and they're like, I don't know what to write about. That is why we have the daily card where you can steal some ideas from. Just make sure you put the date. And we also, of course, have the bingo card, but you have to number the entry that you've picked off of there. You have to include the number that you are picking to write about, okay? So if it's the 15th of August and you're going to write an entry and you picked number 14 has to go on your paper. Okay. So there are 3 ways for you to title your bell ringer. Okay? So again, if you want to write these notes down on the first page of your writer's notebook, you can pause the video right here and just copy this down. That these are the 3 different ways that each entry must be titled. The problem is if you don't take the time to write this down and your entries are not labeled this way and you turn it in to me for extra credit, you will not get extra credit if they are not titled the correct way. So I do encourage you to take your notebook out and kind of write down the 3 different ways that you can title each entry every single day in my class for the bell ringer. All right, go ahead and turn that yellow paper over. We're already on the back. All right, it's going to become our daily routine. The first 5-10 minutes of each day will be your bell ringer, which is sacred writing time. As students enter my room, they will get out the writer's notebook and then they will read the daily card, which will be projected on the large screen in front of our room. They will either get an idea from the daily card or they will work on something off their bingo card. And remember, the third choice is that you write something of your own interest. Okay, students must be writing for the full 5 to 10 minutes or you will lose your points. Students must, and we just talked about this, students must date each and every entry or your responses won't count for extra credit if you decide to turn it in. Okay, how is this going to be graded? Let's take a look at that. This is probably important to a lot of you. I'm going to have a spreadsheet that will have all of the students' names on it. It will look just like this. And as you can see, this is something that I used last year. It just so happens to be, December, the month of December, that I took a picture of to show you on this video. But I had to cross out students' names for privacy issues. But there will be a spreadsheet, and it's going to look like this. You will see everybody's names on the spreadsheet, or I will. And this will be on a clipboard, and you'll see me. I'll be walking around during the first 5 minutes of class with my clipboard, looking for people who are not writing. Each time that a student is doing one of the following, I will write that day's date next to his or her name on the spreadsheet. So if I see, for some reason, I'm walking around and I see you, maybe you're doing other homework. Maybe you're staring around the room after my kind of warning to you that you better not be staring around the room because you need to be writing. Maybe I see you talking. Maybe you're getting up out of your seat to do anything you could possibly think of except write. For example, I wouldn't throw that piece of paper away during the first 5 minutes of class. I wouldn't sharpen my pencil during the first 5 minutes of class. If you aren't writing and you're not working on the bingo or the daily card, then you are going to get a date next to your name. If you're coloring or working on an illustration in your writer's notebook, you are more than welcome to doodle with your pencil some other time, but not during the 5 minutes where I should see your pencil dancing. In other words, everybody is actually writing something down during these few minutes, unless one of the bingo task is to draw a picture. That would be the only exception of drawing, and there are some like that, you know. So on this spreadsheet, you can see that there are some dates next to kids' names. Well, on that date, these students were not on task. So I'm sure you're probably looking at this guy right here, or girl, I forget because it's crossed out. But she's got one, or he's got 1, 2, 3, 4. So they have 4 dates in the month of December where they were off task. That means 4 times they weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing. They were probably doing one of these things. So that's how you'll lose points. You get a monthly grade for the bell ringer. You get a monthly grade every month. At the end of each month, I will look at my spreadsheet and I'll see how many points you lost. In other words, how many dates you have. And when I go to give you an SWT grade for, August, I'll add up and I'll see how many dates you had, and then I'll subtract those points from your grade. So yes, the bell ringer is a grade. And the only way you can lose points is by not writing. It's really not difficult. This should be an easy A for everybody each and every month. Okay, the SWT is 5 to 10 minutes, a period where all students are writing. I should see pencils dancing, nothing else. If a student is doing one of the above, basically anything but writing, then a date will be recorded near his or her name on the spreadsheet. All right, so I kind of already talked about that, right? So in other words, this is what take your pencil and underline this just on your paper so that you can maybe put a little star next to it. Getting a date is bad. It's going to hurt your score. You want to have a name that doesn't have any dates next to it. So these students right here that I have the little red dashes next to their names, they got 100%. They definitely are going to get an A for their December SWT grade because they don't have any dates next to their name, and that would be your goal. Okay, bonus points. There are also rewards for the bingo cards. If students get a bingo, they will earn a silly sticker. The sticker will be placed safely on the cover of the writer's notebook. For every 10 stickers collected, maybe take your pencil and underline that. For every 10 stickers collected, extra credit can be earned. It is possible to get several bingos on one card each month. Can you put a little star next to that? Maybe draw an arrow to bring some attention to this, because this is where you're going to get your bonus points. In other words, if you get one bingo and I give you a sticker, you could go for another bingo that same month and get another sticker. I've had kids earn up to 5 stickers in 1 month because they got 5 bingos in 1 month. So definitely even more than that, 6 bingos, 7 bingos. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to cut you off or limit you to how many bingos you can get in 1 month. The stickers are funny. They're kind of silly. It's not a big deal. You can see here how silly they are. I even kind of get into, the holidays. If it's October, I try to put a Halloween sticker on, and the holidays, etc. And I steal stickers from my daughter. Like, I think she got that one when she went to the doctor. So the stickers are random and not to be taken seriously. They're just silly. But as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's 10 stickers here. So that would mean that this student has definitely earned bonus points. When you have 10 stickers, you'll bring me your notebook. You'll show me your 10 stickers. We'll look at the grade book together. We'll find the lowest grade in the grade book, and you get to add the extra credit to whichever grade you want. and I'm assuming you would pick the lowest one, and we'll fix that grade. Okay, so you've got the bingo. How do you get your sticker? I want my sticker. How do I get it? If you get a bingo, you're simply going to place a Post-it on the pages where it starts. It's, again, as long as it's numbered, I'll figure it out. That's why dating it and labeling it is so important. So if you could circle dating and labeling and maybe draw an arrow to this, please. I'd like to see you do that on this paper, because if you forget to do it, guess what? It's not going to count. The notebook, underline that, the notebook will be returned because you did not follow directions. So please make sure that it is dated and labeled. You've told me where the prompt came from. Remember location, where it came from. Was it on your own? Was it the daily card, or was it the bingo card? And then date it. And then the only thing you need to remember is if it is the bingo card, what number off of the bingo card. Label each entry. All right, next then you're just going to fold your bingo card inside your notebook and you're going to place it on the bingo crate. The bingo crate is located in the back of the room and it's pretty obvious. It's going to say bingo on the crate, and it's on that table that's in the back of the room that usually has extra papers. So just look for the bingo crate and you'll turn your notebook in there. When I see notebooks in there, I know that that means that somebody got a bingo and they want it to be graded. I'll pick it up, I'll grade it, and then if you look over on the counter, go ahead and look there right now. On that long counter, you're going to see tape dividing that long counter into different periods, into different classes. So you'll see a second period, a third period, fourth period, and so forth. I will put your graded with a sticker notebook there. That way, when you walk into the room the next day and it's time for you to have SWT and you have to have your notebook to write, or you're going to get a date next to your name, you're going to go over to that counter and you're going to quickly just pick up your notebook that should have a brand new sticker on it, and you'll sit down and you'll start writing. So that's the exchange. You put your notebook that you got a bingo inside the crate. I then take it out and grade it, and I set it on the counter with a sticker next to your period number on the counter, and you'll walk in the next day and that's where it'll be waiting for you to pick it up to start hopefully a new bingo for that month. You can get a couple of them, like I said. Quickly, I just wanted to give you some tips here about length. The only other one reason why you won't have an entry count is if you didn't date it and label it. But another reason can also be because of the length. And this just goes to show, like, this is pretty obvious to me, but it was the same student that did this actually. Let's check. We've got location, right? Good. It was the bingo card, so there should be a number, which there is. Good. And there's a date. Perfect. The length is decent. He's definitely addressed the prompt. The problem is when I go over here for the bad example, I see the location. He told me it came from the bingo card, but I don't see a number off the bingo card, and that should say date, and I'm not seeing a date. So this is a really bad example, and because he's not labeling it correctly, and my goodness, it's barely 2 sentences, so that's clearly not going to count. 2 sentences is not an entry, my friends. If you are only writing 2 sentences in 5 to 10 minutes, don't even bother to turn it in for extra credit. It's not going to work. Here's a couple of examples of students whose notebooks I had. It's the 5 subject. And again, I just wanted to show you, these students definitely wanted to have the 5 subjects so that they didn't have to keep replacing it. The thing that stinks about the 1 subject is when you replace it and you have stickers on it, what we do is we cut the stickers out and we have to glue them on the inside. You won't be able to have a nice ongoing year-long collection of stickers on your cover. If that bothers you, you're going to want to get the 5 subject. And then you could probably have the whole entire front covered up by the end of the year with stickers. If you could care less about the stickers and you're just after the bonus points, then the one subject will be fine. Okay, but I just wanted to let you know the choice is yours. Okay, so that pretty much takes care of, in a nutshell, how the bell ringer SWT works in our classroom. And I'm sure you have questions, which is fine. You're definitely going to have some time to ask questions about the notebook. But I just need to make sure that everybody got a good review of how it works. So anyways, make sure that you have the August bingo card, and you can kind of just take this bingo card and you can put it inside your writer's notebook, and then you will be set to go for when we start on Monday.